Hi guys, it's me, ChazzaHD, and welcome to the post-2018 Russian Grand Prix Q&A and a very special 1,000 subscriber special Q&A as well. How are we doing, guys? Sorry, after yesterday's Russian Grand Prix. Hopefully we are doing well. Yesterday's Grand Prix, in reflection, wasn't too bad. I've watched it back a couple times. It wasn't too bad in terms of the excitement of the race, considering what I thought it was going to be. So, yeah, yesterday's race was not too bad, but immediately we are now looking ahead to the next race, which is Suzuka. By the way, guys, just to let you guys know, the race review for the Russian Grand Prix has been uploaded. It was uploaded 2 hours ago. It's in the description right now, so if you have not seen it, go and check that out right now. But guys, again, how are we doing on this Monday evening? Ben McCarthy, congrats, Chaz. Thank you very much. I'm sure we'll talk more about the channel going forward for the next 30 or 35 minutes of this Q&A. Falling out EMS, F1 should add a wingman of the day to the driver of the day voting so Bottas can win something. Oh my god. But guys, we'll just get into the Q&A. You guys can ask me basically anything. I will say though, I would like maybe to have some questions about the channel, because it is a special time at the moment, because we have just hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you do have any questions about the channel, then go ahead and ask it, because I will answer it in the next 30 to 35 minutes. That's how long I'm going to be live for in this Q&A. Just looking at the chat to see some comments. Make sure I get everyone's comment read. Ben McCarthy, a favourite video you've made on the channel. Thank you very much for that. Tamzid, Zuhar, now it's road to 2K. Indeed it is. I don't know when we'll get there. I'm not expecting us to get there, you know, end of this month or anything, because of course it is the 1st of October today. But, you know, if the growth is really good, who knows? Maybe we can do something special. Who knows? I would love to be at 2,000 subs by, say, the end of October or even the end of November. That would be great as well. We'll see what happens. By the way, guys, if you've maybe noticed, my throat is on the edge of dying. It's so sore. In my race review, when I was recording it, my voice went a couple times. My throat has just gone off the cliff. So bear in mind with me, or bear with me, sorry, in this Q&A. So Ben McCarthy, I guess he was asking what's the favourite video I've made on the channel, instead of just saying this was his favourite video. The favourite video I've made on this channel, I'm not sure which one would be my favourite on this one. I think one of the classic F1 videos was very fun to make. The one I did with Hamilton and Vettel, which came out on Tuesday, which has done very well. It's on 4,000 views. That was good to make. Also, my mid-season reviews, they were, even though they took so long to make, they were good. I don't know. I can't give you an absolute definite answer. Hydra just finished 4 hours of ancient Greek homework, feels bad. Falling out EMS, who is your driver of the season so far? I would have to go Lewis Hamilton. I'd have to. Yes, he hasn't been at, I think, his best this season. He is performing really well right now, but in the first half of 2018, I didn't think he was doing that well. But overall, for the season, I'd have to say Lewis Hamilton, because I think other drivers that have done well have sometimes been quite inconsistent. Or top three, he goes, falling out EMS goes Hamilton, Vettel and Verstappen as a top three. I would go Hamilton first. Second, I don't know who I'd go second. It wouldn't be Vettel. It would not be Vettel. It'd probably be... You know what? I'll go Daniel Ricciardo. And I know that might be a surprise, but Ricciardo has, since the mid part of the season, had a lot of reliability issues. We have to remember this. And then after that, yeah, I'd probably go Vettel in third. Say Rugara, Charles Leclerc could be driver of the year. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. But I am, as I said in my race review, I am so excited to see him in the Ferrari for 2019. I really am, because after what he did yesterday, if he can do that in a Ferrari, wow, he is going to be some driver. Below, which one is the Aussie, me or you? Just looking at the chat, make sure I get all the questions in. I disagree on Ricciardo being his second best driver. That's a Niblo again. I just think... I don't think Vettel deserves to be in the top two because he's made too many mistakes. I can't put him in the top two. He's made, again, too many errors. So, yeah, I wouldn't go Vettel in the top two. Tamzid Zuhar, how many subscribers did you think you were going to get when you made the channel? With this new channel, because I had 5,500 on the old one, with this one, I thought we would hit 1,000 subs at the end of 2018, so around Christmas, New Year. That's where I thought we'd hit 1,000, and we've hit that 3 months before, you know, the target. So, you know, that's fantastic. By the end of the year, I'm not sure how many we'll have by the end of 2018. Maybe 3 or 4K if we're feeling lucky. I don't know. Just looking at some more comments. Make sure I include all your guys' comments. Are you ever going to do a giveaway? I was thinking of doing one, but I have abandoned that idea. I might do it in the future sometime, we'll see, but for now, I'm not going to do one. Hydra asks, do you play the 2018 F1 game? Yes, I do. I did actually my first league race of the 2018 F1 game last night, and, well, it didn't go too well. I finished in third. Had a very chaotic race, tried to go for the lead, had an accident, and also had a tyre puncture right at the end, but still finished in third. So I guess, you know, if I go trouble-free in some league races on the F1 game, then I should have a good league season in the league I'm racing in. Touchy subject. Yep, indeed it is. Ben McCarthy, when you look at the 2018 World Drivers' Championship standings, Alonso has been amazing. Considering how poor the McLaren has been, yes, he has. He really has. The McLaren, maybe for 2 or 3 races this season, has been good enough with both cars or both drivers to get into the points. But all the others, they haven't. And Fernando Alonso, I think, has scored points in... How many races is it? Is it 8 or 9 races or even 10 races this season? The McLaren definitely was not good enough to finish in the points on 10 or more occasions. Fernando, even though it hasn't been a great year, it has been another illustration of how great Fernando is. Do you live in England or America? I think you can tell by my accent whereabouts I live, but I won't get into that any further. Ben McCarthy, what made you choose your YouTube channel, Chazza HD? In terms of the name, I don't really know. I think with the HD, it was maybe a slight rip-off of someone else I saw, but I can't remember who it was. When I created that name, it was, I think, was Christmas 2015. So I can't remember, if I'm being honest. But I think it was a kind of a slight rip-off of someone else's name. And then I just went with that. And it's kind of fit, I think. Chazza HD or Chazza HD F1 as the channel is right now. Serugara 2018 Drivers of the Year. Hamilton first, Alonso second, and Vettel third. Does that work? It's difficult to say with Alonso. It's difficult to say because he has been good in the McLaren, there's no doubt about it, but because the McLaren is so poor compared to the top cars, we can't properly judge maybe how good his performances have been, because again, the McLaren is so far away from the Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, even the Renault and the Haas. So I'm not sure whether I'd put Alonso in the top three, because again, I'm not entirely sure how much great performance he's got out of that car. Ben McCarthy, toughest race review you've had to do? In my entire race reviews, including on the old channel, there was one, I think Brazil 2016, that was quite hard because there were lots of stoppages in that race, so it was quite a tough race to watch, to be honest. Even though it was exciting, that was quite a tough one to do because it was just so long. Can't really think of any other. Oh, Russia 2017, that was very hard to do because there was literally no passing during the race. I can't really think though of a certain one that would stand out. Hydra, I see no text on the information page of your channel. Yeah, I don't think I've decided to update that. I probably should, but yeah, I'll try and see if I can do something about that. Francisco, are you planning to cover some other motorsports like WEC, WRC or IndyCar? I did, in case you guys didn't know. If you go back on this channel to about mid-August, I actually went to the 6 hours of Silverstone race for WEC at Silverstone. It was absolutely fantastic weekend. I vlogged it, filmed the cars around the track, and I have to say I do miss Silverstone. I really do. It was such a great experience. That track, in terms of where you can view the cars and how close you can get, it's so good. If you guys can somehow in your lifetime go to Silverstone, preferably for an F1 race, if you can go to Silverstone, you have to. You absolutely have to. If you don't, you're missing out. You really are missing out. Add Facecam Chazza. That's from Spider Monkey. I will be adding Facecam to my videos. I will be doing a face reveal, by the way, by the end of 2018. It will be in December, but for what video? Well, you're just gonna have to watch, I guess, every video and wait and see. Hydra, will you do some collabs? I am planning maybe to do one towards the end of the year in December, but definitely for 2019 I am planning to do a few. So yeah, that might be another thing coming to the channel in 2019. I've got a lot planned for next year. Hopefully I can get all of those things going and bring those things in, because if I do, then yeah, we're going to have some great content on the channel going forward. Ben McCarthy, is this the worst time to have a sore throat with early Japan schedules this weekend? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm going to soldier on through the sore throat. Japan, I'm really hoping is not boring because, again, we have to wake up in the UK at 6 a.m. for the race. I will be live at 5:10 in the morning, by the way, for the race watch along. Very early in the morning. I'm just hoping it's actually worth it. Because, you know, if we, you know, in the UK, if we wake up for this race and it's so boring, then it's going to feel like a waste of time. Francisco says Silverstone is one of my top 3 tracks I would like to visit. The others are Hockenheim and Spa. I'd also like to go to Spa as well. I'm probably going to try and go, I'm not going to say very soon, but definitely in the next 4 or 5 years, I am going to try and go to Spa. I don't know what for though, even if it's for a different type of motorsport to F1, just being at Spa would be a great experience. Spider Monkey, well, you're lucky to have a racetrack near you. The place where I am at, there is nothing here. Yep, that's a shame. That is a shame. Say Regaro, the reason why Ricciardo isn't in there is because apart from China and Monaco, he didn't really do much. Maybe Hungary. I see your point, but you have to remember he has been unlucky this season. You know, Bahrain, he was quick there and his car broke down in, what was it, 4 laps? Something ridiculous like that. Baku, he was partially at fault for that accident with Max Verstappen, but still, I think Verstappen was more to blame. You have Hockenheim, Monza, Spa. You know, Ricciardo has been unlucky this season, no doubt about it. Well, I've been to the Australian Grand Prix like 7 or 8 times. It's just 30 minutes away. Yep, Niblo is very, very lucky to have that opportunity to go to the Australian Grand Prix basically every season. Hydra says he lives 15 kilometers from Monza. That's another track that I absolutely want to go to in my lifetime. That is a place that, yeah, that's on the bucket list for sure. Warwick Ball, how strong could Ferrari be next year if Vettel doesn't make any mistakes and if they get their strategy right? If Vettel stops making mistakes and Ferrari have a car in terms of pace compared to Mercedes as close as it has been this year, and they employ a new guy to do the strategy, I think Ferrari will win the title. But until those things happen, I don't see it. I don't see it. Ben McCarthy, unfortunately for me, I'm entering GCSE, so I'm missing loads of FP1 and FP2s. I'm focusing on media studies at school to become an F1 commentator / journalist. Did you want to do something like that? Not really. I mean, what I'm doing at the moment, I guess, is not necessarily journalistic work. It's more independent journalistic work. But again, I wouldn't call myself a journalist, but YouTube is for independent media, and I guess I fall into that bracket at the moment. Bottas has been very unlucky in 2018. For me, Bottas has been better than Ricciardo this year. That's from Seru Gara. You know what? I'd say they're at least equal, those two. At least equal. I don't know though. It's hard to say. I would still go Ricciardo better than Bottas this season, but it's still close. I think Bottas is close behind. Hydra, I think he's responding to someone else there. Delirious user, Kimi knew that there wouldn't be enough time to finish the season or finish the session in Russia. Are the team having their best strategist in the cockpit? what happened in practice 3, that was so embarrassing. But, you know, sometimes that does happen. But it seems as though with Ferrari, it's every single race that they make this kind of mistake. And it's got to stop. It's got to stop. And I know it's only practice. It didn't mean anything. But still, the fact that it did happen shows that Ferrari are just one step away in every single qualifying and every single race of making a mistake when it comes to pitting or not pitting. Yeah, they need to get a new strategist for sure. Delirious user, we say that every season now, don't we? Absolutely. Chazza, I miss my home Grand Prix as much. The Buddha International Circuit. Obviously, that's where the Indian Grand Prix was in, I think, was it 2011, 2012 and 2013. That track was good. It just, I guess, didn't have the country's backing behind it. So, yeah, that's not really... It's sad. That Grand Prix should be on the calendar because I think the fans who went to the races there were very enthusiastic. But just, again, the country, it seemed, or the people, you know, lawyers and people like that just didn't back the race. Delirious user, quite frankly, I think Vettel needs to see a sports psychologist. He's denied the need for it, but... it doesn't hurt. He's got the money. I'll be honest. I think he's past that point. I don't want to say that he can't be saved because that's a bit dramatic to say. But I think you know what I mean by that. I think because now he is in about the prime of his career or now coming down from his prime. When it comes to the mental side of him, he's not going to change. This is what Sebastian Vettel is. If this was Vettel, you know, in 2010 right now, then you would say, you know, okay, Sebastian, he's still young, he's going to mature, he's going to learn. But Sebastian now is what, 31 years old? He's not going to mature because he's already matured into what he is right now. So I don't see how even seeing a psychologist is really going to make a difference. I don't see how it will because this is what Vettel is. Delirious user, I think Hamilton saw a psychologist post 2016 or that's what someone else said. I'm not going to say. I wouldn't quote whoever said that on that because, yeah, no one honestly knows. Hydra, I'm seriously considering taking my old helmet paint, says helmet paint? Yep, helmet paint, and put stickers to make it look like Vettel's one and then use it to play in the F1 game. Okay, just show that message from Spider Monkey showing why the Indian Grand Prix is not around anymore. Francisco, Chazza, will you do more classic races reviews? I won't be doing classic race reviews, but I am currently doing a classic review of the 2012 season. We've done 2 parts so far. If you haven't seen them, then go to my playlists and you can find the playlist there of the 2 episodes so far. Part 3 will be coming out in a week and a half's time, where we'll be covering, I believe, the British, German, Hungarian, Belgian and Italian Grand Prix. It's going to be a 5-part series as well, just to let you guys know. But yeah, we're covering that at the minute when it comes to classic F1 stuff. Just looking, Scotty says, why did they pit Max even if he eventually got passed by Lewis? Maybe Bottas too, but still a podium for sure. You have to pit in F1. You have to make a mandatory pit stop, and Verstappen didn't make a pit stop at that point, and that's why he was leading the race, was because Mercedes and Ferrari had pitted their cars and Verstappen had not pitted. So if Verstappen had stayed out and not pitted and completed the race, he would have been disqualified for breaking the rules. So yeah, it was impossible to do that. John, who can beat Mercedes this era before the rule changes? I don't know. The only team I can see is Ferrari. That's the only team. Because Red Bull, you know, they have a great chassis. They still, for me, have the best chassis on the grid. But will their partnership with Honda work? I don't know. I hope it does, because I want to see Red Bull up there fighting more consistently with Ferrari and Mercedes. Will Renault become a top team? I think they'll get closer, but I don't think they will be a top team. Yeah, I think Ferrari, the only team, say between now and 2021, that can actually beat Mercedes and stop Mercedes' run of winning world titles. Ben McCarthy, do you not have Instagram? Nope, I don't. I do have a Twitter. I do have a Facebook page also, but I don't have an Instagram. I'm just not that interested, if I'm being honest, in Instagram. What is the GOAT or greatest of all time of F1 designers? For me, Adrian Newey, but I will say shout out to Colin Chapman. You have to remember him. He was one of the biggest innovators in the history of Formula One. Without him, we wouldn't have seen what we eventually got in F1 for maybe quite a few years later. There's also people like Gordon Murray, who designed the classic McLaren MP44. You have also, I'm just trying to think of other people, Rory Byrne, of course, the person who designed the Ferrari of the early to mid 2000s, which Michael Schumacher dominated in. But I'd have to go Adrian Newey, but I just want to shout out, Rory Byrne. Who else did I shout out? Gordon Murray and Colin Chapman. I think those designers deserve a shout out. Aldo Costa. No, I wouldn't say Aldo Costa. Aldo Costa is a good designer, but he's not anywhere near the greatest of all time list. Absolutely nowhere near. Who do you think are the best drivers? F1 drivers or WEC drivers? Oh, not WEC drivers, or WRC drivers. I don't really know that much about WRC, to be honest, so I'd have to go F1 on that. Ben McCarthy asks Paddy Lowe. No, I don't think so. I think this year has proven that Paddy Lowe isn't a bad designer, but he's not as good as people think. John, did you catch any of the NASCAR yesterday? They turn left and right. Scotty Giovinazzi, better be the next Leclerc soon or he'll be dumped for Mick Schumacher in 2020. If he doesn't perform, yeah, most likely. And it wouldn't be a massive surprise. But of course, Mick Schumacher has to perform in F2 if he does go there in 2019. So there are some other factors as to if Giovinazzi is kicked out if he doesn't perform well, and if Mick Schumacher comes into F1. Daniel Gout, do you think Ferrari's lack of pace is due to being outdeveloped by Mercedes, or FIA bans something on Ferrari's car? No. I don't think it's the FIA banning something. I think I think Mercedes now have a better car aerodynamically. I think they've brought upgrades after the summer break to the car, and it has made the Mercedes now better aerodynamically than the Ferrari. I'd say the Ferrari, aerodynamically, out of the top three, is now the worst. That doesn't mean that their car is bad. It's still very good, and aerodynamically, again, is very good. And it's close to Mercedes. But the Mercedes has improved on the aero side since the summer break, and it's clear to see that. And I think that's why Mercedes have maybe regained, you know, the fastest car in F1 title at the moment. John, Mercedes is a machine. Absolutely, they are a machine. I'm just trying to read. I saw something on Ben McCarthy. Would you like to see extended highlights on the F1 YouTube channel? I'd like to see extended highlights of classic races on the F1 YouTube channel, but not of current races, because current races I don't feel as though deserve extended highlights because they're not good enough to get that. But if they did that of classic races, that would be great. And I want them to, you know, to put more classic races on their channel, because I think they did it with Malaysia in 2001 to celebrate the Malaysian Grand Prix and its last race. They showed an entire Malaysian Grand Prix from 2001, and it was great. And everyone in the comments was saying how great it was, but they haven't decided to bring it back, which is a bit strange. Right, I'll read out, guys, about 3 or 4 more questions, and then I will end this stream and let you guys know what is coming up in terms of content on the channel. Scotty asks, Ocon to Williams in 2019. It's being rumoured, but I don't think it will happen. I think George Russell will be partnering Sergei Sorokin at Williams for 2019. I don't think it will be Ocon. Will Gasly beat Verstappen next year? That's a question from Daniel Gout. I don't think he will. I don't think Gasly ultimately is good enough to do that. I hope Gasly proves me wrong, because I'll be honest, I think Gasly, certainly next year, might be a bit out of his depth, because there's going to be pressure for sure at Red Bull. I hope he does deliver in that sort of environment. Just trying to make sure I haven't missed a couple comments or any good comments in the chat. Delirious user, let's not forget the Mercedes and Ferrari seem to have interchanged positions from last year. Ferrari did have the ultimate pace in Sochi. It's just that Bottas got that lightning start. Last year in Sochi, yes, Ferrari did have the front row, but if you look at qualifying, Bottas was only, what, half a tenth off pole, or inside a tenth, so they weren't dominating that qualifying. So it was about equal, I think, between Ferrari and Mercedes. Warwick Bull, who is F1's biggest loose cannon driver at the moment? Right now, it's got to be one of the Haas drivers. Those two are pretty insane. I'd probably go Magnussen, even though he was, I thought, good in the Russian Grand Prix, and this season, of course, has been good. I think when it comes to close racing, he can get pretty, or even too aggressive, almost every time he races someone. So, yeah, I'd have to go Magnussen. Someone going Gross Magnussen. That's Daniel Gout. Will Leclerc challenge Vettel? I think he will. I think Leclerc will challenge Vettel. And I hope he does, because that will make 2019 very interesting. Right, I'll read out, guys, a couple more, and then I will end the stream. Scotty says Max should be in Bottas' seat. It's a shame we're not getting that Max versus Lewis fight right now. You know, it'd be great to see that, but realistically that's never going to happen because Lewis will never allow Max to drive for Mercedes and vice versa at Red Bull. Leclerc will beat Ferrari. That's from Scotty and John in the chat. Worst F1 race you've ever seen? That's from Ben McCarthy. I'd have to say Russia in 2017 for sure. Right, one final question, guys, for this Q&A, and then I will come off. By the way, again, guys, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I still can't believe we hit it so quickly. Again, I thought by the end of the year, and if we were lucky, the end of November, we would hit 1,000 subs. But by the end of September / start of October, we have hit 1,000 subs. Right, just looking for that final question. Put in the chat now if you do have a good one. Just looking at some very good ones. God, there is some good ones here. Sorry. Just trying to find that one, if you know what I mean, guys. That one question that is really good or stands out from the rest. Just trying to... Right, I'm going to end on, I think, is it Daniel Gout's question there? Yes, it is. It's Daniel Gout's question in the chat. Will Honda come good next year? If they don't mess up massively in 2019 in pre-season testing like they did 2 years ago in 2017 with McLaren, then I wouldn't say come good, but will be surprisingly good compared to what people generally expect from Honda. I don't think, again, they'll come good next year, but I think they will be good compared to what our expectations are currently of Honda, or of Honda, you know, for next year. I think if Honda are going to come good in terms of, you know, going for race wins, maybe 2020, something like that. But yeah, you know what? I think 2019, I think Honda are going to be good, and I think they will have a better power unit than the Renault. Thank you to Lucas, congratulating me on 1,000 subs. Thank you very much for that. And you know what, guys? We will end this Q&A here. Again, thank you so much for 1,000 subs. It really does mean the world to me. Hopefully now we can go marching on towards 2,000 subscribers and get to that as soon as possible. But before I go, let me just update you guys as to the next 2 videos coming up on the channel. Here you go. So tomorrow between 4 and 5 PM UK time, me and Niblo are going to record the 2018 Russian Grand Prix podcast. That will be coming out tomorrow. And then on Thursday between 4 and 5 PM UK time will be the preview for the 2018 Japanese Grand Prix. So those are the next 2 videos. Hopefully you guys will come along for that. And I will update you guys as to my race weekend schedule in the Japanese Grand Prix preview. So if you want to know what I'm going to be doing this weekend, then watch the end of that video, because that's where I will be giving an update to you guys as to what I'm going to be doing. And then you can set your dates, I guess, in your diary for certain times at the weekend. But again, guys, thank you very much, and thank you very much as well for 1,000 subscribers. If you want to join the Chazza HD F1 channel and add to the 1,000 subscribers, then click on the bottom right of the screen, or either click on my channel name or link in the description that goes to my channel page. Like this video, comment down below what you thought of this video, And if you do have a question, then don't hesitate to put it in the chat, or put it, in the comments, and I will get round at some point to answering that question as well. Don't forget to join our Discord server, link below down in the description. We have just over 70 people in the server right now. It's growing all the time, and hopefully by the end of 2018 we can get at least 100 people in that server and grow it even more in 2019. Don't forget as well to follow me on Twitter, link below in the description. Following me on Twitter is very important, guys, because when it comes to exactly when I'm going to be uploading, or if there is any issues as to why I'm not uploading, you have to follow me on Twitter, because that's the best place to keep up to date with, you know, real-time issues or real-time me, instead of just the, you know, general schedule. So don't forget to follow me on Twitter and check out my website, chazerhd.com. But guys, until the next live stream, which will be the 2018 Japanese Grand Prix Practice 1 and Practice 2 review on Friday late afternoon / evening, I will see all of you then.